Hello folks, it is I, Brian Wildcat here. Ampersand today is my first episode of Brian Wildcat's Wrestling Stars of the 2000s. Ampersand today, I'm going to talk about a 6-time WWE World Champion and a 2-time Royal Rumble winner and a movie actor, the Animal, Batista. Dave Batista started bodybuilding and he started wrestling at age 30 in 1999 as Leviathan. Especially in OVW on May 9, 2002. Dave made his WWE debut as Reverend Devon's bodyguard, which is seriously one of the worst debuts in WWE history. With Devon defeating Triple H on SmackDown and Raw, Batista in 2002 as a beast and a monster. And sure, he battled Kane with Ric Flair in his corner at Armageddon in his first PPV match. On a Raw after Royal Rumble 2003, which made Batista look like a star in the 2003 Royal Rumble match, which is won by Brock Lesnar, Batista and Scott Steiner had a dream match until Randy Orton and Ric Flair got themselves involved, which causes a DQ finish by Triple H attacks and brutalized Steiner, and 4 guys destroyed and laid out Steiner as the unofficial debut of Evolution. On a February 3rd episode of Raw, Tommy Dreamer was in the match until 4 guys shows up and brutally assault Dreamer, and Triple H officially formed Evolution. With Triple H as the leader in the present, Ric Flair as the manager in the past, Randy Orton the future, and Batista the Chronic and the Enforcer. Ampersand, it really changes the landscape of professional wrestling. Check out the segment. These 4 guys really dominated the red brand on Raw in 2003, and Batista would take off TV time for 6 months until he returned and attacked Shawn Michaels and Goldberg, and Batista snaps Goldberg's ankle to collect $100,000 for Triple H. It was a golden night for Evolution at Armageddon. Batista battles Shawn Michaels that night, and HBK kinda put over the Animal, and however Batista lost. But him and Ric Flair would win Tag Team Gold against the Dudley Boys. Randy Orton captures the Intercontinental Championship against Rob Van Dam in a 3.5 or 4-star match. And Triple H captures his 3rd World Heavyweight Championship in a triple threat match against Goldberg and Kane. Ampersand Evolution won 4 championships in one night. Evolution has been taking over the red brand on Raw from 2003 to 2004. Ampersand, yeah. It has been the most despite its stable in WWE history. But it was also one of the greatest stables in WWE history. WrestleMania 20, where it all begins, again. Guys like John Cena, Randy Orton and Batista made their WrestleMania debuts in separate matches, with John Cena capturing the United States Championship from The Big Show, and Batista and Randy Orton would team up with Ric Flair as members of Evolution against Rock and Sock Connection in a 3-on-2 handicap tag team match. It was an underrated and must-see match. Ampersand Evolution beat Rock and Mick Foley. It was the same WrestleMania, which causes Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg to exit out the WWE after their last match together and gets booed out of the building. It wasn't the ones of that night because Chris Benoit captured the World Heavyweight Championship against Triple H and Shawn Michaels. At SummerSlam in 2004, Randy Orton became the youngest World Heavyweight Champion at age 24. And the next night on Raw, Triple H and Evolution celebrated Randy Orton of winning the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam, and the thumbs down was heard around the world, and Evolution betrayed and destroyed Randy Orton. Ever since Evolution kicked Randy Orton out of the group, Batista got tired of being Triple H's lackey and tired of doing his dirty work and being treated like a slave. Ampersand, everybody knows Triple H is the most hated and despised WWE superstar on Raw. So Batista won the 2005 Royal Rumble match at Royal Rumble '05. But it was still all about Triple H this, Triple H that, Triple H whatsoever. On a February 21st episode of Raw, Dave made a decision of whether he's gonna wrestle for the WWE or World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 21. Is he either stay on Raw to wrestle the World Heavyweight Champion or leave Raw and go to SmackDown to wrestle for the WWE Championship? so he drops the Rock contract to make Ric Flair and Triple H look proud fathers, and Helmsley gets a taste of his own medicine when Batista gives him the thumbs down and hits the Batista bomb on Helmsley through a table as one of the most memorable Raw moments in WWE history. Ampersand he said, he's gonna wrestle for the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw against Triple H at WrestleMania 21. WrestleMania 21 is one of the most important and memorable WrestleManias of all time. And it really changes the game of professional wrestling and predict the future of professional wrestling. The first ever Money in the Bank ladder match, two tag team champions face each other to open the show. The Legend Killer couldn't kill a legend. A dream match between Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels, and of course, Batista capturing the World Heavyweight Championship from Triple H, and the main event could have been better. Also, John Cena captures his first WWE World Championship against JBL, and two world titles changed hands in one night. That moment made Batista a star, and the Batista era has just begun. Batista successfully defended the World Heavyweight Championship against Triple H at Backlash. Ampersand that is twice Helmsley put over the Animal. And a couple nights later on Raw, Triple H had enough. He brutally attacked Batista and challenges him for the World Heavyweight Championship at Vengeance inside Hell in a Cell. These two men meet one last time for the World Heavyweight title. Ampersand this time in Hell in a Cell. These two men killed it. Especially a barbed wired steel chair. That match was physical, brutal and gruesome. This is one of the most brutal Hell in a Cell matches in WWE history. Triple H was about to hit the sledgehammer on Dave, but couldn't because Batista hits the Batista bomb to retain the World Heavyweight title. Nobody expected a WWE superstar to defeat Triple H 3 times like Batista. On the episode of SmackDown, JBL thought he was the WWE SmackDown champion. Instead, Teddy Long named JBL the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship by drafting Batista to SmackDown as one of the most shocking moments in SmackDown history. Batista is SmackDown's top dog of the mid and late 2000s. He became friends with Rey Mysterio and the late great legend Eddie Guerrero. Ampersand yes, he had a little rivalry with Eddie Guerrero. He and Trey would win Tag Team Gold and dedicate the match against MNM and the victory to Eddie Guerrero. And yeah, November 13th, 2005 is the saddest and difficult day in wrestling history. But again, Batista is the big dog on SmackDown until injury happened. Batista had to surrender the World Heavyweight Championship because he was injured by Mark Henry. The original plan for WrestleMania 22 was supposed to have Batista to defend the World Heavyweight Championship against Randy Orton, and that match never took place, because Mark Henry injured Batista and Dave would take off TV time from wrestling for 6 months. On the same night, Kurt Angle would trade it from Raw to SmackDown to win the vacant World Heavyweight title in a 20-man battle royal. Remember, the Beast would always be unleashed and be SmackDown's #1 guy. Batista returns to call out Mark Henry, and Rey Mysterio help Dave to take out the world's strongest man to send a message. The Animal is back and unleashed than ever. Dave would feud with King Booker over the World Heavyweight Championship. The championship he never lost. Batista had never had a classic since he made his return. And none of his matches were that good or memorable. But at Survivor Series, the Animal would defeat King Booker to become a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion. And the Animal is on top of the food chain again. The Undertaker won the 2007 Royal Rumble match, which last eliminated Shawn Michaels. A couple of nights later on Raw after Royal Rumble, The Undertaker made his decision of which would he wrestle the champion at WrestleMania 23. Would he wrestle John Cena for the WWE title, Bobby Lashley for the X Championship, or Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship? Ampersand the Deadman chose Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship to start an awesome rivalry. And he gives Batista the choke slam. At No Way Out, Undertaker and Batista would team up against Shawn Michaels and John Cena as one of the biggest PPV main events in WWE history. Dave would give the Deadman the spinbuster to preview WrestleMania 23 because he would not be intimidated, and he said, "Payback's a you-know-what." WrestleMania 23 made the Animal a bigger star. He was put over by the Deadman, The Undertaker, and somehow, he lost the World Heavyweight Championship to The Undertaker, with The Undertaker becoming 15-0. But it was no doubt as one of the best WrestleMania matches in my opinion. Batista and The Undertaker would resume their rivalry over the World Heavyweight title in the Last Man Standing match at Backlash. It was one of the most brutal Last Man Standing matches in WWE history. Steel steps, steel chairs, tables crashed, wrestling in the ring, fighting at the stage, and at the end of the match, Batista spears Taker off the stage and neither man would get up from the 10 count. That match ended in a draw, and Undertaker retains the World Heavyweight Championship. There's no time left for me to talk about Batista's rivalry with Edge and the Great Khali, resuming his rivalry with The Undertaker, his match with John Cena at SummerSlam, personal issue with Shawn Michaels, his heel turn at bragging rights, but you can comment the rest about Batista during the 2000s. What was your favorite match, moments or memory about Batista during the 2000s? Leave the comment below and remember, the animal is unleashed. Thanks for watching.